One of the newest features in Xangati's dashboard is the MyDashboard feature, which allows you to customize tear-off dashboards that contain a subset of the infrastructure. They're specifically designed to be able to show a small portion of the infrastructure, perhaps to end users or to other IT personnel who may be responsible for a particular server or a group of servers that represent an enterprise service. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this is. You'll notice on the dashboard, so far we've logged in primarily using the management dashboards login, but here we're going to log in using MyDashboard. And it'll bring up a login screen that actually is very similar. Again, if you want the certificate messages to go away, simply install a valid certificate on the platform. And you go ahead and with a username and a password, you go ahead and log in. And what it does is brings up an interface that we call MyDashboard. And the user interface is quite simple. There's a group of objects. In this case, I picked a variety of desktops and put them all into a dashboard that I'm calling desktops. And there's a health index that reflects the performance of just these desktops. And you can see that it's degraded because of the performance of 3 of them, as it turns out. And over to the right, there is the ability to look at any of these desktops in real time and actually see some of the summary metrics. Like we can see that this first desktop is actually in alert. You can see that. You can see its CPU usage, its data store performance, and in this case, what it's doing on the network. And likewise, I could scroll through any of these other ones and actually view exactly what was happening for them at the point in time that we're looking at right now. And so it gives a quick view into the environment. By no means the same level of granularity as the full dashboard, but it's primarily intended to provide a quick way for someone who may want an overview to be able to see very quickly what the health is of an entire group, perhaps representing a service. This could just as easily be a group of Exchange servers or a set of data stores, for example. And from here, it is possible to do several other things. There is a live scroll bar here that allows you to generate recordings for any of these things. You can institute a visual trouble ticket. Perhaps if somebody looking at this wanted to raise this to a different person, they could raise a visual trouble ticket and it would make recordings for these various objects and have those available so that someone else could look at and interpret the recordings. And down here in the corner, there is also the ability to generate reports. You, in essence, click on the button here, and it brings up a user interface that lets you pick off the contents of the report. So you could hit the edit and choose any of the various metrics here to go ahead and do it. You basically get to pick one out of here. So if you want to, you can remove something and say, I want to report on CPU ready. And the reporting is not quite as flexible as inside the main version of the product. It's designed for summary reporting to very quickly give you an idea. So you could go ahead and pick the report and say, I want to know about this over the last hour. And then you can go ahead and click create. And once you've clicked create, you'll notice that the report actually starts to spin up here. And ultimately, the report shows up here. You can see that it says it's being generated. And once it's here, all of the reports that you've run are listed tabularly. So once the report is complete and available for viewing, you can highlight it and go ahead and hit the view button, and it will go ahead and show the CPU ready here, very, very low, and then the data store information that we had told it to get. So the reporting capability is very straightforward. And as well, there's also the ability to play back recordings. These are already in progress here because of the alerts on these desktops. And you can even send these off to somebody who might represent a system administrator. So it's a very clean user interface that's very simple, very basic, but it has a lot of power and enables you to very quickly deal with subsets of the infrastructure. So with that as an overview, let's go ahead and take a look at how to set this up. You'll want to log in to the general dashboard as the administrative user, and you'll notice in the black menu bar that there's a tab here called My Dashboard Users. And so you're going to want to go here, and creating a My Dashboard is very simple. We'll take a look at the one that I did for the desktops here. To make a new one, you'll of course click Add. I'm going to hit Edit here, and you can see that I created a login name called My Desktops. You could also go ahead and use Windows login credentials, which would probably be more common for those of you in enterprises. that you might want to go ahead and use a Windows domain controller and set up people's actual usernames to get into the dashboard. And so you would go ahead, set it the login name, give the dashboard a name, set up a password for that user, which they're actually prompted to change on their first time logging in. The type is set to default. There's no other type at this time. And you can put in their email address if that's the case. And then you can pick off what type of objects are going to be in this dashboard, whether they would be data stores, interfaces, desktop pools. If you're going to choose virtual machines, you want to set it to identity. And that's what I did to put these desktops in. And then I went ahead to the edit, and out of the list of all of the identities on the machine, I went ahead and picked a small subset of them to put inside this dashboard. And with that, I hit the OK button. And it'll go ahead and put it in your list with a little M next to it that says that it's been modified. And as soon as you modify it, then you want to go ahead and press the save button to go ahead and save your changes to that particular dashboard. And with that, you can basically set up individual My Dashboards that contain whatever subset of the infrastructure that you like. And when you come back to the My Dashboard login area, you can now log in with your new login and retrieve your dashboard. So with that, we hope you enjoy this capability of the Xangati dashboard.